What is up, everybody? It is the Sweet for Contact Boys back again with another episode. I'm joined with Sick Ramy. He ate some bad street tacos. I'm here with Big Aiden. I thought he was the one that was sick, and I was gonna make fun of him in our group chat, but he's not. He's alive and well. Besides you being sick, Ramy, how are y'all doing today?
I hate
So
that
stupid,
so much.
bro. It's so stupid. Okay,
yeah,
so
but I only do it because it gets a reaction.
All right, so as you guys know, as our loyal fans know, we've been going through each division. We've tackled the boring ones so far. This one's slightly less boring. We know who's going to win it, but we are covering the NL West today. So for all you idiots that don't know what the NL West is, it's the National League West Division on the West Coast. Aiden didn't know that, so just wanted to put that out there for him.
What?
So just going off our 2023 standings, get that out of the way real quick. If you hit under a rock, just, Dodgers went 162, Diamondbacks went 84 and 78, Padres went 82 and 80, Giants went 79 and 83, and the Colorado Rockies went 59 and 103. For me, I think it'll be pretty much the same. Maybe the Padres do something. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Ramy, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned less boring, and I got to be honest, as I was kind of typing up my little cheat sheet here for the NL West, it's kind of a boring division. Like, there's a lot of boom or bust, I feel like, throughout all these teams, and there's a lot of like unprovenness on squads for the NL West. I mean, the Dodgers reworked their entire rotation, and there's, in my opinion, a potential collapse for the Dodgers if things go poorly. It's kind of like last year we were talking about like the Rangers rotation. Like if everybody kind of clicks and we don't lose 5 guys, it's a dangerous team. If the Dodgers lose 4 or 5 guys, they could be in some serious issues. But if 3 or 4 of their guys click, then, World Series or bust. But all these teams have some issues. We'll talk about each one. But yeah, I think it'll play out almost exactly the same. I think the records will pretty much stay pat. It is kind of a boring look as long as nothing crazy happens.
So I will say this. I get your, like, if nothing goes wrong point for the Dodgers, and like how we were kind of all on that last year for the Rangers, but I think the Rangers kind of, like, because everyone was like, it has to be perfect. It was not perfect. I mean, like, DeGrom was out within 4 starts. John Gray missed a lot of time. Martin Perez became one of the worst pitchers in baseball. Eovaldi missed a lot of time after All-Star break. Dunning was our ace, basically.
And there were multiple weeks where the two of you were losing your minds over how badly
losing my mind. Yes,
it was. And so it pieced together at the right time, though. That's what matters.
I think the Dodgers are one of those teams where, like, if someone goes down, I think, like, when our guys went down, we had some guys step up, and I think the Dodgers have more of those guys that can step up. Their pitching is stronger than it was last year. I still don't think it's like a lead or anything, but it's pretty good. The offense is crazy.
The offense will carry.
The offense may be the best we've ever seen, to be honest. I don't know how it's not going to be unless people just slow down. I mean, you got Teoscar, who could hit 30 home runs, get 100 RBIs, and now he's in the Dodgers cheating lab. So
batting like 7th, not even like in the middle. He'll be batting at the bottom half, bottom third. So it's interesting. I mean, if there's any doubt, the Dodgers got Shohei. Obviously, he's not pitching this year with the arm injury, but he's there. He'll anchor. Yamamoto comes over on a 12-year deal, likely going to be a Dodger forever. Teoscar, like you said, they kept Hayward. The Glasnow trade and extend was interesting. They flipped Margot. They bring in Kike, who's a little more utility, can play infield and outfield. And then to me, the weird one, the X factor kind of for this whole thing is James Paxton. 1 year deal, kind of a prove it type of thing. Long list of injuries, but also long list of high performance playoff experience. He's been in it in the AL and the NL, mostly AL. But yeah, this offense is incredible, and I think the pitching just has a lot of question marks, but probably still the class of the National League, aside from the Braves.
I really like them getting Lux back. He tore his ACL spring training last year, I believe.
Yep.
Is he going to play short?
That's the plan.
I'm guessing that's the plan. I really like them getting him back too. Last year was supposed to kind of be his like breakout year, and then spring training just it was awful. Is 93 their over under?
Yeah, right now Fanatics says them 93 and 69.
I don't see how they don't go over. I mean, that to me feels like one of the clearest ones I've seen is them going over that.
I think part of that is the starting pitching question marks, because Yamamoto, 25 years old, never pitched in Major League Baseball first year. Bobby Miller and Gavin Stone combined for less than half a season of Major League pitching. So they're going to be relying on 25, 24, 25. First time being asked to go 150 innings in a season. Glasnow, who's had double forearm, 2 elbows, oblique, back issues. Paxton, forearms, elbows, knees. No Kershaw this year, no Gonsolin this year. At some point, Walker Buehler comes back, probably early summer, but it might be All-Star game or deadline. So like, there's just question marks. No, Kershaw probably won't pitch this year. He had that shoulder surgery back in November.
I thought All-Star break was when he came back.
He might, but I mean, I'm assuming shoulder surgery on a upper 30-year-old starting pitcher. I'm not expecting him back this year. I think that's why they signed a 2-year deal, so that he could come back the following year
and defer his $18,000 million until 10 years later. Anyways, so yeah, I'll let y'all yap for a little bit. But so the bar they have for the Dodgers are 93, 69. It's like Aiden says, there's no way they don't go over that unless Jesus comes back before then, and he might. But anyways, so yeah, Los Angeles Dodgers, 93-69. I'm taking the over.
Aiden, I assume you're over?
Yeah.
I'll take the over, but I'm saying they're not getting 100 wins this year.
Bold.
I think this is the first time in a while they won't eclipse that mark. Let's go to the desert. The Arizona Diamondbacks.
Let's go to the desert.
They sneak into the wild card last week of the season. They run the table, get to the World Series, fall short, and they lose some people. They're like, hey, we don't have these kind of players. If we get to the playoffs again, we need to fill these kind of holes. And they kind of went out and improved on the margins. They didn't make anything that's like huge splash, but they made, I think, smart moves that make sense for their franchise and the holes that they had. Longo, fam, out. Didn't produce enough. You guys, see ya.
Fam being out, that just surprises me.
Yeah, I don't think he signed anywhere yet either. He's still out there.
He hasn't. And I really thought he'd sign back here. I thought he had a pretty good year last year, and he was the best player in the World Series.
In the World Series, he was. But I think they're finally going all in on their young guys. But they bring Erod in. Gurriel Jr. extended for 3 years. Jock comes in on a 1-year deal. Grichuk comes in on a 1-year deal. Eugenio Suarez traded with Seattle, brings some more slug. So again, not a lot of like big time splash moves, not a lot of money spent, but smart, controllable moves. And anytime you can line up Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, and Christian Walker in your top 3, feel pretty good. Jock Peterson, Eugenio in the middle, good slug percentages there. Gurriel late in the lineup is a luxury. He's a bat to ball guy. And it's time for Alek Thomas to kind of prove that he can do it. I mean, he's a great fielder. but he needs to put a little bit more bat to ball, a little bit more contact in 2024.
Someone that like I've seen a lot of pages are really high on, like in catcher rankings, Gabriel Moreno. And like, I guess I'm just a little confused by it. And a lot of it is from people are like hyping up his postseason run, where he was basically the same hitter he was in the regular season. He just hit a couple more home runs. He was a 104 WRC plus guy, both in the regular season and the postseason. And I've just seen people hype this guy up like he's going to break into the top 5 catchers this season. And that's just something I'm a little confused about personally. But I like their rotation. I like their lineup. I've got trouble because right now I think Dodgers are 1, and I'm a little iffy on if Diamondbacks are 2 or if the Giants are 2. So,
No, what you got?
I'm just excited to see Arizona be good. Finally, it was really fun getting to see them run the table pretty much throughout the entire National League in the playoffs last year. They've been really bad for a really long time. This division's it's going to be run by the Dodgers. It's been run by the Dodgers my whole life, pretty much, and if not, it's been the Giants. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. We know who's going to win first in this division, but I'm going to keep my eye on who's going to win second and get a wild card spot. So, yeah.
You mentioned the rotation that you like. I mostly do. I have some issues with the 5th starter, I think. Like, it takes more than 4 guys to go through a season healthy in the rotation. It's going to take 7 or 8 guys usually, sometimes 9. As true like starting pitchers, and I don't know what their back end looks like. 5th starter breaking camp, who's gonna kind of be those next handful of guys. But I do like their top 4. There's some questions I think for that 5th guy, that 6th guy down the stretch, but just something to keep an eye on. Fangraphs has the Arizona Diamondbacks at 83 and 79.
I like the line.
I'm going to take the over on this.
I kind of want to say they'll hit. I don't want to say they'll hit that line.
They very well might.
It's close. I really think a lot of the season's going to depend on Eduardo Rodriguez. Is he going to be what he was last year, or is he going to be what he's been his whole career? It's going to be interesting to see. Like if he gets back into the 4s next year, you don't really want your 3rd guy in the mid-high 4s. But if he could be like low 4, high 3, I think that goes a long way for the team.
I think you take anything under 4.5.
I think he's the 3 right now. But
yeah,
Brandon Pfaadt, if he does what he did in the postseason and not the regular season, he'll move up into the 3, and Rodriguez will be the 4. So it really just depends if Brandon just keeps his stuff out was in the playoffs or not, which is it's a difficult ask. I've got them at the line. I think they'll win exactly 83 games.
Over line?
Over. Yeah, over.
All right, Slam Diego.
that was so enthusiastic.
Have you seen this lineup? I don't know if they can be called that anymore.
Yeah, I know. This
lineup is disgusting.
This is a weird team. And I feel like they got worse on paper. I think they underperformed last year. Last year they underperformed, and their record shows underperformance. They, on paper, do not look as good to me as they did last year. Not by a long shot. But
so they've got Tatis, of course. I really think he'll kind of bounce back a little bit more this year, 2nd year back. Bogarts, who underperformed last year. But a big thing with him was Fenway helped him a lot. That wall, that was a big part of his game. Like, I've seen the video showing the stats on it. People were like, he's going to struggle in San Diego. He struggled. Cronenworth, I think he might get traded. Like, he might not even – he struggled last year. Machado, hopefully he brings it back up. Ha-Seong Kim, I like him. Then you got Luis Campusano. Jurickson Profar,
Go.
Jackson Merrill. You hope he can do good. He's looked good in spring training from what I've heard. And you got Jose Azucar. Like what?
Azucar.
What is this
Azucar.
lineup? This was like people were like, "Oh, they spent big. They're going in. This is terrible. Like this lineup looks awful."
Soto out, Snell out, Hader out. Centerpiece of your lineup, centerpiece of your rotation, centerpiece of your bullpen, all gone, and not a lot to replace. There's not
And they
anybody
lost Gary.
that they replaced.
Plus Gary Sanchez, man. That was their guy.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Tatis. He needs to kind of bring back that MVP vibe. He needs to be a 30-30 kind of a player for this team to be in the running.
Which he was a good player last year.
He
was one of the best defenders in the outfield, and he was like a 130 WRC guy.
Yeah,
he can be more.
Gotta be his floor,
and I think he will be more.
That has to be his bottom production line. He's gotta be 150, I think, in order to like carry this team to the playoffs.
Starting off, I think that was the problem. He to get up there, like ramp it up.
I do like that the team of all shortstops finally kind of has a defensive identity. Xander going to second base, Hasdaq Kim at short, Machado at third, Tatis at right. They finally have kind of figured out their defensive alignment. I think that makes them the best defensive team. So that's a good thing. But I think where they're going to run into more issues out of the lineup is the rotation, because Musgrove and Darvish, good quality pitchers. Good quality pitchers. Nothing wrong with them. After that, they brought in 3 pitchers from the Soto trade to New York. Can Michael King give San Diego 150 innings of quality ball? I don't know.
I hope. He looked good last year when he started.
He's gross. I just don't know if he's got 150 bullets in him. We're going to find out. And then Brito and Vasquez come over. Both are rookie status. What are they going to look like down the stretch? Can they handle a full workload? And then I don't know what their backup plan is. Like Matt Waldron and Glenn Otto are hanging out in camp. Like Noah's favorite, Glenn Otto, might be pitching for the father soon.
Can I be honest?
Yeah, hit me.
When the hell did Glenn Otto become a Padre?
He got waived off the 40-man, and they picked him up back in like December.
Okay.
Glenn Otto always wears a hat that's too big for him because he has massive ears. that's the biggest thing I can remember about him. Joe Musgrove's gonna get hurt. Like it's gonna happen. And is he even gonna pitch well when he doesn't have sticky or shiny ears? Like that, I worry about that, about Joe Musgrove constantly. Like he threw the no-hitter, came onto the scene. He's got the shiny ears incident, and then he'll just like have disappointing regular seasons when you expect him to be so much better. And put something together, man. Put together a really good regular season.
He was good last year.
He's put together a pretty good little career.
3.05 ERA.
Is he a Cy Young guy? No, he's not the one Cy Young that you want at the top of a World Series rotation.
Games did he pitch though?
He only had 97 innings, so
he only pitched 17 games. That's like that's what I'm saying when I mean not good.
Guys, be nice.
You gotta look at quality of games. How does quality of game look?
He was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, bro. We sent him. The Astros sent him to Pittsburgh in the Garrett Cole trade.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew that he was at Houston. I just didn't know he went to Pittsburgh before Padres.
Yeah, he was a centerpiece for us to get Garrett Cole.
Is Yuki Matsui gonna save this bullpen without Hader?
I mean, no.
I'm gonna say it now. Hader is overrated. If he would have joined the Rangers, he would have been underrated. But he joined the Astros, so
the truth comes out at least.
Never pay a bullpen arm. What'd y'all pay him? $105 million?
No. 5 guys in the arm barn are new for the Padres. 1 guy's from Japan, 1 guy's from the KBO, 3 guys off of trades or free agency. That's a lot of new faces to add to a bullpen. when your lineup is being paid $200 million on the infield. The San Diego Padres, 81-81, 500 baseball, over, under.
Under.
Under. I think this next team we're going to talk about gets them by a game or 2 or 3.
Ooh.
I'm in that same boat, honestly. I think it's going to be really close between these two teams. I'm going to take the under as well on San Diego. I am not a believer currently in the Fathers.
Well, Rangers won.
Hey, Congrats.
I think the Giants may be closer to the Diamondbacks than they are the Padres, to be perfectly honest with both of you.
I like that.
A lot of rookies in that rotation.
There are a lot of rookies, but I also think this team kind of won free agency this year, if you can say that. Like, in terms of deals done, like.
All right, talk me through it.
I'm not the biggest Matt
Tell
Chapman
me
fan.
on the Giants right now. Tell me.
Casey Schmidt is a dog. Okay. Underrated.
You got Jung Ho Lee.
Unproven 25-year-old.
Unproven. But listen, I'm all about the unproven guys. I've said this before. I am about the unproven guys.
Jung Ho Lee, center field, lots of room for him to cover. $100 million bag. I like it.
That.
I like
He's going to hit. You got Estrada. He looked good last year. Lamonte Wade. He's got a nice bat. Jorge Soler. He's going to hit 30 home runs. And he's in San Francisco. There's so much more aura in San Francisco than there is in Miami.
What aura? There's more fentanyl on the streets. There's more fentanyl on the streets.
There is aura. You got Conforto. Conforto's, this is his contract year, I believe. He's got to do good. He's got to get the new contract. Contract year means they're going to play good. Trust me. Then you got Chapman. That's good defense. I'm not the biggest fan of his bat. I think he's a little overrated in that aspect. But he's also your 6, so I don't think it's that bad. Patrick Bailey. People think this may be his breakout. You know, he kind of crushed lefties last year, so why are we letting Will Smith throw to him and letting him hit a walk-off home run instead of switching to a righty? But, you know. Then you got Luciano. Iffy. You got Logan Webb. That's an ace.
I like Logan Webb.
Ace.
I love me some Logan Webb.
Kyle Harrison is what? He's the second best lefty prospect? The guy in Toronto's number 1? You got Hicks. Is Hicks going to give you 4 innings a game? Maybe. Is he going to be throwing 103 every pitch? Yes.
The last time that Hicks tried this, I think he had like a 6.5 ERA. I just want to throw that out there.
San Francisco now.
But he's in San Francisco now.
There's no aura in St. Louis.
There's a pretty good aura in St. Louis.
What baddies are showing up to the game in St. Louis?
Yeah, there's no baddies in Missouri. Like, come on.
That's what aura is. That's what that just refers to the baddies in the area.
You gotta. What happened when Jordan Poole was in Golden State?
San Francisco. Yeah, he played like a dog.
Punched by his teammates.
Now he's in DC.
He did get punched by his teammate because he had too much aura. It's coming out too much. Now he's in Washington. Look at him now. He has no lineup. Nappy hair. Like, it's just no aura. So, Jordan Hicks.
Anyways, okay, San Francisco. We got 581-81. I say they go over.
Over. Ooh.
Under. Logan Webb is going to anchor the rotation, but Kyle Harrison, Keaton Wynn, Mason Black, Jordan Hicks, Robbie Ray's not pitching this year. Maybe at the back end after the deadline, he makes a comeback. I don't see any reinforcements in AAA if any of these guys don't pan out. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the pitching. I'm not buying the bullpen. Camilo Duvall is a really good closer. I like him. I like Logan Webb. The rest of this is sketch. This feels sketch.
Man. Hold on, brother.
We need some optimism.
Yeah.
I usually bring more optimism.
Never optimistic. My optimism prevails. I was optimistic about the Rangers and the
Yeah, you
D-backs
are
last year.
autism-mystic. Yeah.
I don't know if you can say that, brother.
Okay. Yeah. Let's just not talk about what you said earlier. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, on to the Colorado Rockies.
Oh my God, I hate
So,
the Rockies. They're
This
like
is the team that sweeps the Dodgers in the division series, right?
The power of friendship.
They got that one dude who's dating Vanessa Hudgens, so that's aura. So maybe
they've got that one pitcher from Ashdown, Arkansas, that I had to
They've
go
also-
up against freshman year.
they've got Nolan Jones. He's like everyone's favorite breakout player this year for some reason.
I like Nolan Jones.
He throws the ball from the outfield like 103 miles an hour, so maybe that's enough to.
That does make
Save
good
the
baseball
team.
players like prove they're good baseball players.
Let's be honest. The Colorado Rockies will never win anything. They will never like it's the curse of being in Colorado. They're never gonna have a pitching staff good enough to win there. I feel bad for that Tennessee pitcher that went there. I don't remember his name, to be honest.
This year?
It was in the draft. He was supposed to be like the number one guy taken, and then he just had a really bad year in college, and now he's in Colorado. But he's got really good stuff, and that's why he still went high. Dude, like you'd think maybe their hitters would go off, and then you've got Chris Bryant saying like, "Yeah, I didn't really look at the prospects good enough whenever I decided to come here." Dude, you've hit like 12 home runs.
Yeah, he's played like
freaking
25% of the games.
You've played 25% of the games, and you've hit 12 home runs in Colorado. Like that's pathetic. that's terrible.
He's a freaking idiot.
Why did he sign with the Rockies? Like I will never understand that.
It was guaranteed money, paid for a long time. It was a retirement contract, and he took it.
Was he just like good with his career just being nothing after that though?
He got the Rookie of the
Like,
Year. He got his MVP.
Such a good
he got his
start to it.
ring. Like he got it all wrapped up early, and so then it's just go get paid.
I find it so hard to believe that no other team was going to give him good enough money to just throw away the rest of his career.
It also made no sense for the Rockies to bring him in.
It's the Rockies.
You got to put butts in the seat somehow.
It made sense.
No, but that's
because
the thing.
it did. They put Chris Bryant's butt in the seat. He doesn't play. That's the fan they added by buying him. Like
that's the thing though, is that if they wanted to be good, it's not about putting butts in seats right now. It's about stacking up the farm, and they have not done that.
But like
at all.
Aiden said, they're never going to be good, so they have to bring in money somehow.
They got to move out of Colorado, man. Like they got to find the lowest altitude place in Colorado and just build a stadium there or something.
All right, I'm gonna
so
spin this
bad.
positively. I'm gonna spin this positively for the Rockies. Ryan McMahon is gonna hit really well the first half, and they're gonna trade him for a couple of solid young players in AA.
I hope not, man.
Ryan McMahon, he's gonna hit. He's gonna have like a 130 WRC plus, lefty bat, third base, good ball player. He's gonna get dealt. Blackman, he's gonna retire. They're gonna free up like $18 million off of that contract, and they're gonna have Nolan Jones and Brendan Rodgers and Ezekiel Tovar for the next 5 years together. And they're going to build around that second base shortstop combo. And they're going to build around Nolan Jones in the outfield. And they're going to stack up some prospects from these top 10 draft picks that they've had the last 3 years. They're going to be really bad for 2 more years. And then they're going to be good in like 2028. 2028. That's the year. But they can't be doing any more dumb stuff.
They're not going to be good ever.
Yeah, we're going to get
this
Rocktober's coming
team?
back. Rocktober.
No, this next expansion team that's going to be in Nashville, they're going to be better than the Rockies before the Rockies become good. That's how bad the Rockies are. Show the Kanye one. Bro, that one takes me out every time.
In a weird way, I made this note too. Like, there's in the starting rotation, like it's not good. Don't get me wrong, but in a weird way, there's less like just giant question marks. Like you know what you're gonna get out of these guys, and it's not like great production, but you're gonna get Kyle Freeland at the top, Cal Quantrill and Gomber in the middle, Hudson. Like that's four dudes who at least have built a career. Like they've got a Major League Baseball career and have been established. They're not gonna perform well because it's Colorado. They're gonna have ERAs in the fives and all that stuff. But at least they are not going to be scrambling for arms potentially. I feel like that's a good thing for the Rockies. You're going to have a reliable starting rotation. Reliable.
Rockies when it's 2028 and they're supposed to be good.
Come on, Rockies front office, figure it out.
Right? They're just
figure it out, Rockies.
Rockies.
You gotta do.
Bryce Harper.
You gotta pull
is
an
a better
Astro
franchise than the Colorado Rockies. Like we've established.
You gotta dig into the 2012 Astros. You gotta sell. Don't sign bad contracts.
Like the Rangers.
Build up your single A and double A. And then cash in at the right time. I believe in you. You can do it, but you got to start over because you did it really poorly this time around. How much money are they paying Arenado still? They're still paying like, what, 30% of Arenado's contract?
I don't know. Why are they paying any of Arenado's contract?
Because
I wasn't immersed on like MLB Twitter back then. Why are they paying the contract?
Because they signed to this massive deal, and then they're like, "Oh, buyer's remorse. This was bad." And then when they dealt him to St. Louis, the only way that they could get anybody to take $35 million on a year was to keep 25, 1/3 of the salary, however much it is, and so they're still paying for part of his contract.
Ridiculous.
And they will be for another 2 or 3 years.
They got nothing out of it. Got rid of him and still had to pay his contract. So they just took a loss. Like they lost money, they lost a good player, and they didn't get anything good out of it. The Rockies are never gonna be good, man. Let's be honest.
64-98 over under.
Under.
I mean, if them beating the Dodgers prediction is true, it's gonna have to be over. But I guess I'm gonna have to say under. Why don't we just move the Rockies to like the Central?
They're gonna lose 100 games this year, going under.
If we move the Rockies to the Central, they could win the division with 64 wins.
Okay.
I'm
out of that conversation. So we're saying Dodgers gonna win, Diamondbacks in the wild card. You kind of have Giants.
The Giants, the Diamondbacks.
You guys think you're kind of banking on Giants being there. I'm not buying the Giants, but I'm buying them a little bit more than the Padres. I think the Padres are in fourth, and the Rockies are a 100-loss team again. Any changes?
Yeah.
All right. Well, NL West, there's some weird ball going to be in the NL West this year. There's a lot of pitching questions. There's a lot of really good lineups. It might be the best offensive year in a division since 2019 juice ball era. Because the lineups are kind of gross.
I saw something the other day about that. Daniel Vogelbach hit like 30 home runs that year. Other than that, he plays
was wild.
Vogelbach hit 30 home runs that year, and other than that, he plays like a 5'10", 180-pound second baseman in terms of hitting. Like he's an interesting specimen. Have you seen the Giants 2021 stats? How were they cheating that year? Like they were cheating, but how? Brandon Crawford was like an MVP candidate, wasn't he?
Probably. That sounds right.
Brandon Crawford.
cheating the Astros? Yeah, the Astros cheated in the year they won the World Series.
So Brandon Crawford went from being 86 WRC plus, 93, 73, 110 in the COVID year, 140 the year after COVID, back to 88, and now 63 this year.
It's kind of like there's
Yeah.
a weird like league wide like
Yeah.
problem, and then then it went away magically when things started being enforced all the way around.
Hit
It's
24 home
crazy.
runs. It's the most he's ever had.
Not with the Rangers. But anyways, guys, we appreciate you tuning in and watching another episode of Us Be Idiots and Ramey being the only smart one. If you like what you heard and saw today, go check us out on our Instagram, all our socials. Give us a like and subscribe and put the hit the bell button. We post every week. We try to put it out on Friday or Thursday via our schedules. But we appreciate you watching. Who are we going to go over next week?
AL East,
Okay, getting a little bit more fun.
American
Getting a
League
little bit more
East.
fun. All right, well, we'll talk about the AL East next week. Said, appreciate you watching. Peace out.
Why are there balloons? Why are there balloons?